Hey guys, welcome back to Collective Perspective. It's episode 91. Today we're going to be talking about what some people have called the limited run games of the 90s. Have you heard that, Craig?
I have heard that, which is uh, not a good comparison.
We're talking about a little company called Working Designs who apparently made games as far back as TurboGrafx-16, and I didn't know that until today. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think when most people think of them, they pretty much just think of the Sega CD and the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
But they have done many releases for many consoles.
So I have the Excel sheet pulled up here, and let me pull these notes out for myself. So I want to talk about, first and foremost, what are some of your favorite releases of theirs, and if you know what comes with those releases, like stickers or whatever.
Yeah, so my favorite one, easily Magic Knight Rayearth. I think that is like the coolest physical video game just of all time. I think the box art is absolutely gorgeous. The art style is so cool. I'm a big fan of Clamp and their art style. The holographic cover is really gorgeous. The game itself is very good, very A Link to the Past. If you've never played it and you like Zelda, definitely worth checking out. It has a bunch of stickers of characters in the game and from the anime, of course. It has a registration card that's always missing, like any good collectible game does. And it has 3 disc variants, one of each of the main characters, which is super cool. So that is something that you will see looking through the Working Design catalog, is they love to do disc variants, which is cool. So some are more desirable than others, but it was kind of cool that back in the day you could buy these games brand new and you didn't know what disc you were going to get. And I don't know if there's any documentation of saying, oh, you could get one of 3 discs, or you could get yada yada, like different kind of things like that. But I just always thought it was interesting and neat that they did that, because I don't know of any other publisher that has ever done like random disc arts for their games. Nowadays there's companies that do like limited prints and special editions where it's like sometimes the cover arts might be different and stuff like that, but usually never the actual physical game. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, if companies, if even limited run started to do things like that, the like chase variants or something with like disc art variants, or like you get a trait, you get some kind of TCG like they did with the Mario Elephant with Mario Wonder. Like if these companies, I guess they don't want us to buy physical, so that's one thing. Limited Run wants you to buy physical, but like most publishers, if they would do something like that, it would just change the game. People would be buying 3, 4, 5 copies of their stupid game, and it would just be more money in their pocket. Disc variants would be life changing, man. I would love that so much as a collector. As someone that doesn't buy modern stuff mostly, that doesn't collect modern stuff, that yeah, man, especially Nintendo. If there were like different colored Switch cartridges or just a TCG included, I would be all in.
They're giving away a booster pack of Magic Final Fantasy cards with Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch too.
Oh, that's very cool.
I think that. It's like the first run. Yeah, I think it's the first run of the games. They all come with a Magic the Gathering play booster, which is really neat. So,
I don't know if I have any favorites from what the heck, not limited run, Working Designs, but I think all the cool expensive ones are freaking awesome. I guess we'll talk about them, as we go through this set here. There are 30 games in the full set. Do you own any currently?
I don't think I do. Given a quick once over, at one point I had I think all of the Saturn ones except for Shining Wisdom. But right now I have 0 of them, unfortunately.
So we've talked about the Saturn ones on the Saturn collecting episode. I think it was this year, and those are all awesome. We're going to talk about them again.
They're worth talking about over and over again.
For some reason, I've always been drawn to Popful Mail. It seems like a game. Actually, I'll tell you why. I know why. It's because someone told me that it's an RPG with platforming, and I was like, all right, I'm in. That sounds awesome.
And it is very good, by the way. But famously, the port or localization from Working Designs is very much considered the worst version of the game for multiple reasons. So we could get to that when we get there. But
Okay.
just something to keep in mind if you did ever want to actually play your games for some reason.
I think there's a PC release of that game as well. So there are 30 games. I do own a couple. They are trash. They are the cheapest of the 30, I think, actually. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get there. So across all of their 30 releases, here's the breakdown. 2 for TurboGrafx-16. You've got 5 for the TurboGrafx-CD. I know so little about I love the TurboGrafx. I think it's awesome, but I know so little about it. And I had no idea they had 2 games on that console. They had 5 on the TurboGrafx-CD, 4 on the Sega CD, 6 on Saturn, 10 on PlayStation, and 3 on PS2. Even after the PS2 was out, they were still putting out 1 or 2 PS1 games. I think the Lunar game was one of the last ones for PS1. So if you wanted to collect every game, so 30 limited, it's not limited run. It's not even similar to limited run. If you wanted to collect 30 working design games, $6,792. You're looking at $6,800.
Hooey.
Any idea what some of the rarest releases may be? I'm sure if I just sort by highest price, that would be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think presumably the ones that are probably the hardest to find are the TurboGrafx ones, just because those consoles did not sell super well in America. So those ones probably got the lowest print runs overall. No hard evidence on that. Magic Knight Rayearth is not the rarest game in the world, but it was the last game ever released on the Sega Saturn in North America, so probably had whatever the minimal print run was for that game. That game has kind of everything going for it in terms of collectability, though, so it's really hard to say. And because it's so desired and worth so much, that there's always tons of copies available to buy, so it's really hard to judge the rarity on that one. But definitely probably one of the TurboGrafx-16 or CD games if I had to guess, but hard to say. I mean, you even have some notes here about some low sales numbers on the CD games, so.
Right. I guess what I want to do right now, there's only 30 games. Maybe we should just go through them all.
Yeah, why
not? Let's see. I wanted to do the top 15 most expensive, but yeah, I think let's just go in order of release here and talk about them if we have any comments. So this is kind of like how we do our set collecting videos. I mentioned the Saturn one. This is going to be kind of like how we do those videos where we talk about the I guess everything I've already talked about for the last 5 minutes, but similar to our set collecting videos of, the status of a set in X year. Yeah. So I had no idea Parasol Stars was, like I said, I didn't know they published any TurboGrafx games at all. But Parasol Stars, famous Taito series, somehow part of the Rainbow Islands and Bubble Bobble series.
Oh, okay.
So these prices don't mean much because there's CIB and then there's CIC on TurboGrafx, and price charting doesn't have any idea what that means. But $130 for Parasol Stars, that's probably really low. Kadash, $174, that's probably really low. Any comments on those?
No, this is the first I'm hearing of these games in my entire life, if we're being completely honest. So
why don't you do the TGCD releases?
Of course. So June 1992, we got Cosmic Fantasy 2, $78. Surprising, because I feel like that's a fairly niche and beloved RPG series, if I'm thinking of the right franchise.
Recently got like a collection ported to modern consoles, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the second collection. I think they've slowly been kind of bringing them all over for, I think, like, Limited Run is kind of working on that. So, back to Limited Run, of course. Next up, we got Exile in October 1992, about 150 smackaroos. Vastille in April of 1993, $230. Human Entertainment. Human Entertainment, why does that sound familiar? What else have they worked on? Does that ring a bell to you?
No.
Okay, never mind. We're moving on. Exile, Wicked Phenomenon in June 1993. Quick turnaround sequel only a year later from Telenet Japan. $400. Only 4 sales per year on this bad boy.
Can we just
So
talk about
this
the
is
title of that one?
Wicked Phenomenon. It's a good one.
That's pretty insane.
That's a good one. And last, and not least, just based off of sales and price, Dungeon Explorer 2. October 1993, TurboGrafx-CD, Hudson Soft, CIB $809, according to price charting, 6 sales per year. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Dungeon Explorer just like plain old Dungeon Explorer like one of the most common TurboGrafx games?
Yeah, I think you might be right. Like, it's like up there with Keith Courage.
How interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I guess they weren't planning to release the second game here in the States, and Working Design stepped up. I don't know.
Yeah, my entire life, I've never met anybody that's grown up with a TurboGrafx-16 or a TurboGrafx-CD. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not the age group for that, but
I know people.
that's true.
I got old friends.
Right. That's part of being a set collector.
True that.
Anything I was gonna say there? Yeah, $800. That's pretty crazy. The last TurboGrafx, well, I don't know what the last TurboGrafx-CD game was. I know what I was gonna say. I don't know if TurboGrafx-CD, if all the games have cardboard or just some of them. Any idea?
It's disgusting. It needs to be consistent, so I
Yeah.
hope they all have them.
I hope it's all of them. Let's talk about some more CD-based stuff here. We've got the Sega CD starting in December of '93. We've got Lunar the Silver Star. Is this like the first Lunar across all regions?
Yes, this game, famously has been remade 10,000 times. So, the PS1 version, the PSP version, the Game Boy Advance version, the new version on PS4, all remakes of this version.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beloved series. It's gonna cost you $140. That's pretty freaking cheap, all things considered.
Definitely.
Vey, I don't know much about Vey. $126. No comments on Vey.
I just know it's another RPG, but I don't know anything about it.
We talked about Popful Mail. This one is $500. That seems lower than what I was expecting.
I definitely remember it being higher at some point, but Popful Mail is really cool. It has probably some of the coolest box art on the Sega CD. It's cool as a game, like we said, RPG platformer. But it's funny because, like I said, the localized version we got on Sega CD here in North America is considered like the worst version of this game far and away to play, because Working's designs, they made it more difficult, just so that you could get more rentals out of it. It was one of those situations. So the game is made to be much more annoying and difficult than any other version of the game. So famously, there's online a patch version most people play, which is the Unworking Designs patch, to make it more akin to its original release, which I've always found kind of funny.
I can't. It would just be so crazy to walk into a Blockbuster and see that sitting there, like, for rent. That's crazy.
Well, back then you're probably just like, oh, that looks like some weeb crap.
Yeah.
I'll need that, and you'd move on.
Yep. What else is on Sega CD? Last one here, Lunar Eternal Blue, $329. That sounds more like it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, take us into... Why are these split up? Oh, because of release date.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do all the way through Sega Ages. How about that?
Should I skip over?
No, don't worry about skipping it.
Okay, cool. So, Iron Storm on the Sega Saturn, May 8th, 1996. $63. Definitely one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, Working Designs game that you can buy.
What Saturn game is $63? That must be a garbage game.
That's the thing. It's the only one they did that wasn't either a role playing game or had some anime on the cover, so no one cares about it. Probably just as uncommon as any other of their releases, but because it's just a generic photo of a warship, nobody cares about it. It's awesome. Next up, we got Shining Wisdom, June 27th, 1996, in the Sega Saturn. $341. Part of the Sega Shining series. So if you're a fan of that, I think this is more of a spin-off because it's not like Shining Force or something like that. I think it's more like a Shining Resonance, like if you want to think of a more modern game where it's kind of just like an action RPG. One of the ugliest games I've ever seen, though. So just wanted to throw that out there. I hate looking at it, but good cover art, like all these games do.
I don't
Next
know
up,
if there are any Shining people. I feel like the Shining people are dying off. Like that's an old RPG that just like I don't know. I always think
no.
of Phantom or what's it called, Fantasy Star, and this one. They get intertwined in my head.
If there's any Shiners out there, comment down below and let us know the Shining Force fandom is dying. Bring it back. Next up, we have Raystorm for the PlayStation, a Taito game released October 1996. $68. Must be the second cheapest game in the entire subset of Working Designs games.
We're gonna get to some really cheap ones, but yeah, that's pretty freaking cheap.
Oh, okay. I haven't scrolled down. So. Next up, we have Dragon Force on the Sega Saturn. Many people that play more niche, rare, hard to access video games claim this is one of the greatest video games ever made. I don't know if that's true or not, but many people over the years I've heard say that. Also has absolutely awesome artwork, some more holographic goodness on the Sega Saturn. November 1996, $266. This one definitely went down. This is another one that also came with a registration card that's always missing. And this is also another one that I believe has 3 disc variants, so you can get just different artwork of I think it's either different characters or like some monsters or dragons in the game. Cool in that way. Same with Albert Odyssey. Oh, go ahead.
Dragon Force makes me it's up there in my head with Panzer Dragoon and Magic Knight Rayearth, and I just assume it's like $1,000 video game, but $266 pretty cheap.
Yes, it's definitely gone down. It was higher, so that's now would actually probably be a good time to buy that one, if we're being completely honest.
It feels like I see that one in person more than the others.
Oh, really? Interesting. Next up, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldine, July 23rd, 1997. A Sunsoft game, which is kind of cool for all you Sunsoft fans out there. $280 CIB. Another one that has disc variants. Fancy, shiny artwork. I think all of their games on the Saturn have holographic artwork, so don't really need to point it out, I guess, but I just think it's super cool that they went through the trouble of printing them that way. It makes them stand out and look cool. Big part of why they're such collector's pieces, because they're Saturn games. They stick out with the holographic covers. Most of them are RPGs, all that jazz. So Albert Odyssey, I believe, started out as a Super Nintendo game, and they moved the development to the Saturn. But there is an Albert Odyssey game on the Super Famicom. But I'm pretty sure that... I don't think that this is like a remake. I'm pretty sure it's a sequel, but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then, last up for me before we go back to you, Sega Ages Volume 1, November 7th, 1997, on the Sega Saturn. Sega produced, developed, $315. I believe this is just a bunch of arcade game ports. And I'm also pretty sure we never got a Sega Ages Volume 2, which is hilarious. So
yeah, I think that one is super cool. I just, you talk about the holographic cover art, and it reminds me of how the 90s comic books were just running rampant with that hollow foil cover, and it got so tiring for people, and nowadays everything's in the dollar bin that looks like that. But yeah, with games, it's totally not the same. It's the same era, but I look at it personally, and you too as well, like, I look at that and I'm like, that's freaking gorgeous. I want that on my shelf, sticking face out even.
The one time the spine is more important than the cover art when it's a Working Designs game. But yeah, very pretentious of Sega to think that there was going to be a Sega Ages Volume 2 during their lowest era. Very pretentious.
I'll take us to the millennium, and then you can finish it off, I guess. We got Alundra. This game's $142. We're on the PlayStation here. This game, would be published by. So the sequel was published by Activision. It's only $33 if you want the sequel, but somehow the first game $142. What do you know about Alundra?
I don't think I know anything. I know of it, but totally clueless as to it as a video game. I know that you can get it on Vita if you buy it through the PlayStation Store, but that's about it.
Dang, I feel like that's interesting. Probably the coolest.
Yeah. Quick aside, if you are interested in like harder to find expensive PlayStation games, boot up your PS3 or your Vita. There's probably a digital port. Same with PS2 games. It's crazy how much stuff is on those digital stores. It's a shame you have to like literally go to Sony's website to load up your wallet to buy off of them now. They made it so convoluted. But if you care about playing these games and you don't want to sail the high seas, boot up your PS3 or your Vita. You'd be shocked at how much stuff is actually available digitally.
Like Tron Bon is on there. There's like freaking
and it's like they're like $5. They're like super cheap too. It's not like they're like $10, $15, $20. They're all like $5.
It's incredible. Like you can go play some Silent Hill, some Fatal Frame. A lot of good stuff on there.
Save yourself thousands.
Elemental Gearbolt, definitely the coolest, most interesting thing on this list. Shout out to game-rave.com as always. I knew that when I needed information on this, it would be there on his website. But essentially, I'm not going to read my notes. I'm just going to go off memory here. But let me know if I missed something. The game has 2 releases. So this is, you can just buy the standard game, $230, $240, whatever. Very expensive. It is a light gun shooter, but there's a very rare and pretty famous version of this game that came in a freaking briefcase. You couldn't just buy it at the store. There were like 40-ish copies of this thing, and it's more than a foot long. It's a pretty good sized little briefcase that comes with the game. It's got a golden Namco GunCon controller specifically made for this release, and it's got a memory card in there, and you can get one of 2 memory cards. So there's a red memory card and a gold memory card, and for years it was very confusing why there was a red memory card thrown in with this. It felt like it was out of place. Why was there a variant of this incredibly rare item? The founder of Working Designs finally came out and said that he just didn't like how some of the gold memory cards came out looking from the factory. They were not polished to his standards, and he was like, I'm not going to give that to these people, and he just threw a freaking red one in there, which is crazy.
It's wild.
And the last item, quote unquote, is a note from the company that says, congratulations on winning this, or whatever, on receiving this item. Make sure, like, it pretty much warns you of the gold paint getting rubbed off the gun controller from your sweaty palms. And it's like, take care of this. Which I freaking love.
I know. Makes you wonder how many of them got ruined that way.
Yeah. So, this game... What else did I have? There was a copy that sold this year on Heritage, 26 grand, casually. And it was the gold memory card version. Game-Rave does own one. He has the red memory card variant. But yeah, so there was like one given away at a tournament at Computer. What does the CES stand for? Some kind of expo.
Computer Entertainment Expo.
So that was in
I think.
So whatever convention was in 1998, there was one given away at a tournament there, and then there was like 40-ish that were just given away to. It wasn't even like a magazine giveaway, as my understanding. They were just like given to people that write reviews and stuff online or in magazines in 1998. I can only imagine Game Rave must have like paid pennies on the dollar compared to this $26,000 sale that happened. So good for him. But crazy. This thing's freaking awesome.
Yeah, but it's like, that they gave these, to different editors and magazine and they just, not a care in the world, played with this thing and totally ruined them. So, especially if the gold paint on was that cheap. So it's like, there could not be probably more than, 10 of these in circulation, if I had to guess. Probably closer to 5, right?
I mean, it's helpful that it was in this freaking briefcase. It wasn't like in a blister pack. It wasn't in some
Mhm.
stupid cardboard box. But yes, these are probably diminished. I wonder how many are out there in general.
I know there might be someone that's been keeping track. Like for a while, I was keeping track of all the duo packs that were out there. Like I know for a while you're keeping track of all the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Labs on GPAs out there. Um, so it's like there's such a small amount of them in circulation that the fact that you can like know everybody else that owns one is crazy. So that
Yeah.
might be a situation with this, but I know neither of us are super into the PlayStation collecting ecosystem, at least not for PS1. So like we collect PS1 games, but we're not like following the community and the variants and all that weird stuff all the time.
The day may come for me for that. But yes,
My
my
God,
running
Christian announces he's going for the PlayStation 1 set right now, right after GameCube's done.
my running joke is that every day I find a new PS1 game I've never heard of, and today that happened again. It was Vanguard Bandits, which
Woo!
is a $200 video game. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes, I have. That's oh. No, sorry, I have not. I was thinking of a different game. I was thinking of an Atlas game. Go on.
It was also developed by Human Entertainment.
There we go. See, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
um, we got Thunder Force 5, $100 on the PS1. The final Saturn game, Magic Knight Rayearth, is $1,062. I told you it was 36, or no, I told you it was $6,800 to finish the working design set. I think, 1,000 of that is just Magic Knight Rayearth, and
It is
then we got
deserved.
Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. I guess this is like a port from the Sega CD version. Question
Yeah,
mark?
I think I don't think it's ported. I think it's like slightly remade. Like I think that like I'm no expert. I can't lie and say I know all
Yeah.
the differences, but I know it's considered like more of the definitive edition. Says $82 here. I don't believe that for a minute. That must not be including like the big box edition that you see all the time. You know, with all the little special trinkets and stuff.
Oh,
That must because the game was only ever sold in that special edition as far as I'm aware. So I think that the like the just like the jewel case manual and disc is probably was $82.
I bet you're right. I do also bet that it has gone down a lot since it got ported.
That's true. You know, yeah. Go ahead,
But
keep talking. I'm gonna fact check that.
yeah, 82 is probably still low. Um, Silhouette Mirage, that game was it's a treasure game. Wow, that's a double whammy, and it's only $110. That's pretty insane. That's a game I've never heard of. Silhouette Mirage, anybody? Um,
Okay, so looks like prices have gone down quite a bit actually. Um, I am seeing. Oh no, there was. It looks like there was a release of just a jewel case. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, the big box kind of edition that you've all probably seen at many game store conventions and all that over the years, floating around between like 100 and 130, depending on condition. So it's definitely dropped quite a lot.
why do you say there is
So
a separate release?
because I'm seeing a jewel case in the sold, a couple of jewel cases in the sold listings that has the artwork from the special edition just as the cover art. So I never knew that existed until right now. That's kind of interesting.
Interesting.
And then there's the version that came with the big box where it's like just the sword on the cover. You know what I'm talking about?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Just believe me. But yeah, there's variants. That's all I'm saying.
Heck yeah.
I feel like I've only ever seen either the version like the big box special edition version or the game that came in that version. So learned something new today. Look at that.
Well, you can take us through Ray Crisis to the last games there.
Let's do it. Ray Crisis, October 25th, 2000 on the original PlayStation. Another Taito game. Taito and Working Designs clearly got along over the years. This one smells. This one smells for $103, so it's pretty smelly. Another one I never heard of, so that's kind of interesting.
I think it's a shmup, and I think it also recently got like a Switch and PS4 release.
It's gonna plummet Now's the time, all of you Ray Crisis fans, to go get an original copy on the PlayStation 1. Next up, we got Gun Griffin Blaze on the PlayStation 2, October 26, 2000. A Game Arts game, $14.
I own
Absolutely worthless.
I own
You could
it.
use this as a coaster.
Yep.
That's crazy. I had no idea that there was working designs games below, $60 until right now. So, the more you know. Next up, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue complete. Same situation as Silver Star Story complete. December 15th, 2000. PlayStation Game Arts 124 smackaroos. Next up, Sylphid, The Lost Planet PlayStation 2 game released on April 10th, 2001 by Game Arts and Treasure, $17. This might be the cheapest Treasure game that you can buy.
That's the other one I own. I have the 2 worst working designs games.
You're a real collector. Hey, if you have those 2 games, alright, let's do some quick math. That is $31 taken off of your $6,800 that you have to put towards this subset. You're almost there, buddy. Next up, Ark the Lad Collection on the PlayStation 1, April 18th, 2002. Pretty late PlayStation 1 release. Sony Computer Entertainment Interactive, I think is SCEI, and Arc Entertainment. I don't know what the deal with these games. So were these like Japan exclusives that they bundled and sold here? Were these remakes of older games? Do you have any idea?
It's got to be one of those 2 because, first of all, it's a collection, but
Yeah.
I've never heard of an Ark the Lad game before 2002.
Let's see. Ark the Lad, 1995. Yep, Japan PlayStation exclusive. So yeah, that was the first 3 games that only came out in Japan localized. So that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Neat. And the last game, Growlancer 2 / Growlancer 3 as Growlancer Generations. December 7th, 2004, PlayStation 2. Atlas in CareerSoft. So Atlas and Working Designs, match made in heaven. Somehow not more than $60 as well. This is a $55 video game.
Yeah. So I think that was just called Growlancer Generations. That's why they wrote it like that on Wikipedia. But that's
Thanks,
it.
Wikipedia.
That's your $7,000 you can go spend right now. I'm sure you guys are chomping at the bit.
Don't mind if I do.
Let's go through the top ones real quick. Magic Knight Rayearth at $1,062. We got Dungeon Explorer 2, Popful Mail, Exile, Wicked Phenomenon, Shining Wisdom, Lunar, Eternal Blue, Sega Ages Volume 1, Albert Odyssey, and Dragon Force. There's a lot of Lunar fans. If you wanted to get just the Lunar releases here, you're looking at a casual $676.
That's crazy. How about just the Saturn games? The good stuff.
Good call. I like it.
Just the Saturn games.
Just the most expensive ones,
Yeah.
And Iron Storm. $2,000.
$2,000. Not too shabby. I'm looking right now on the good old Bay of Ease, and there are some pretty affordable Magic Knight Rayearths right now, actually. Many under $1,062. So
Just a
might be a
quick
good time to
correction,
buy.
$2,300. That game come with stickers? Is that right?
Yes, Magic Knight Rayearth, it has stickers and a reg card, so make sure you know what you're looking for. And then I believe the Umi disc is the most expensive one, if I'm remembering right. That is the girl with the blue hair. So if you care about, having the most desirable one or whatever, or if you don't care, you could probably get it for cheaper, getting one of the other girls. But yeah, just something to keep in mind.
I did something cool for a fellow collector one time. On freaking OfferUp, I purchased it was either Magic Knight Rayearth. It was one of these expensive games. I bought it for him on freaking OfferUp and mailed it to him. and that's it. I was the liaison between.
But why?
Oh, because he doesn't live here, and it was a good deal or something.
There you go.
So that's the closest
funny.
I've been to owning one of these freaking awesome games.
Man, like look at this. Ends in 1 day. $759. 0 bids. With the reg card. With the
$7.59?
stickers. Oh, just kidding. No reg card. Trash.
I bet that's
Absolute
an expensive
garbage.
registration card.
If you're spending all that money, you want it to be, as perfect as humanly possible. Or at least I do. It's like if you're going to spend $800, you might as well spend $900 and have it be better at that point, right? It's a lot of money, but if you're already spending a lot, you might as well save up a little bit more and get the best possible.
So tell us your favorite Working Designs games. I personally, Craig, I would love to do this with more publishers. What do you say?
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think it'll be tough. We'll have to do some research to find publishers that don't have 1,000 video games. But I'm sure there's some more weird little niche ones that we could find and make some good videos about.
So drop a comment and let us know your favorite Working Designs games, or let us know which publishers we should cover. And that's it for this one. We will see. Make sure you subscribe to Craig's Game Room down there. And
Please do.
we will see you later this month for another episode.
Take care, y'all.